Well guys, I'm gonna do a little lathe project, and this is gonna be for the Oliver 770 backhoe. So this is part whatever of the Oliver 770 series, which hasn't had a new episode in quite some time. So needless to say, you Oliver 770 fans will probably enjoy seeing the old girl. And also gonna do a little bit of lathe work, so we'll be using the Vernon, the mighty Vernon lathe. There she is in all her glory. Hey. Alright, so I needed to use the Oliver the other day, and I came out here and hadn't used it in quite a while. Battery was dead. I put the battery on the charger overnight, ran over the battery charger the next day by accident. It's another story, which will probably lead to yet another project trying to rescue that poor battery charger. I'll show you that at the end of this video. Anyways, so I come out and I'm driving along and I don't even notice it at first, and then all of a sudden I'm looking down the line of the hood and I can see like pink fluid frothing out of the top of the power steering reservoir, and I realize, oh, look what has happened. My makeshift plastic bag cover has been completely, I don't know if chewed away or what happened to it, but that has allowed rainwater to turn the power steering fluid into a milky froth, which means that, once again, I am going to have to drain off all of the fluid in the power steering system and put new fluid in, especially before winter, because I don't want any chance of any freezing problems in that fluid. But anyways, so this all stems from the fact that the push down and twist on cap that was on here, which is not unlike this style right here that's on the radiator, okay, but it was a small version of that cap, had gone missing, unfortunately. What happened was, I believe I had it off sitting on the hood of the tractor at some point when I was working on it, or I don't know how, but somehow I ended up, I think, driving away with it not on, and it fell off somewhere, and I never ended it. I even took my metal detector out trying to find it, never did end up finding it. So this was a stopgap measure here, and well, long story short, I am now sick and tired of this happening. So I'm going to make myself a new cap to go on here, because I haven't had any luck finding a cap that would fit this this unusual size. You know, I bet you if I had the old cap to take down to the auto parts store, they might be able to match something up. But of course, the old cap is long gone, and I can't just drive down Main Street with this thing, pull up and say, hey, got a cap for this? I could actually take the whole pump housing out, couldn't I? It's really not that much. I mean, not the pump housing, the reservoir. The reservoir is just like, it's not even that big. Probably it's like a gallon capacity, if that. But, you know, I guess I needed an excuse to do something on the lathe, right? So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is I'm going to machine myself, probably out of aluminum, a cap to go on here. So I figure the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to make a cap that's large enough to fit down over the top, and then have a part on the inside that fits into this ID, and then to that part I will attach a piece of metal, steel, that will actually be a strap that will sit down and be able to fit down in this notch right here. And then when I turn the cap, that metal will go underneath this lip right here, and as you turn the cap more, it will end up being pulled down more and more. It'll tend to want to bend, so it'll have to be like some spring steel type of metal. That's basically all they're doing is, well, that's not really a good example, but it's kind of like, this is like an outside version of what they're doing here on the inside. Now, I think it'll make more sense once you guys see the finished product or as the product's being made. So the first thing I need to do is I need to know the OD of this thing, which is probably going to be something pretty standard. Yeah, we can call that 1 3/4. Alright, so now I need to know the ID of this hole right here. And we'll call that 1.2. And now I want to know how deep this lip is from this top surface here. So you can see the lip is small there, and it gets larger and larger as it goes around until it gets to over there. Well, actually, right there. So there's 2 metal tangs that would have been on that cover that would go underneath there, and as this cover is twisted, they get pulled down further and further. So I probably want to know what the depth is at the halfway point between, like, well, actually, see, that thing's going to want to bend down. Yeah, let's go with that. Maybe even back there a little further. I'm eyeballing it anyways. 235 thousandths. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. There's just not enough side clearance to go that deep in. What happens is I'm dealing with the circumference here, so the bottom of that groove is pushing on the side here, and that's what more than likely happened. You can actually see there's aluminum built up right there. Oh well. Let's try this again. Oh, so close. Man, that's stuck in there good. Oh, man, that shifted the whole piece. I think that cleaned it up enough. Yeah, so this is going to wrap up this little project. All I've got left to do is we've actually gotten even more rain since I started this project. So you can see that that's like really over full now with hydraulic fluid, power steering fluid, and rainwater, which is not good. It's way too much water in there, and I got to get that all out. So that's going to be the next thing I got to do as far as this goes, is I got to get all that fluid out of there and try and purge the system as best I can, and then put new fluid in. But my cap, I believe we're going to call this done. Wondering about the Loctite. The Loctite is so that that screw doesn't loosen up over time from vibration and fall into the hydraulic reservoir. And I think there's a screen in the bottom of that anyways to keep it from going to the pump, but still I don't want that falling off inside there. So we will well, look at that. Oh, it's like Pepto-Bismol. The heck? My phone's freaking out. So that seems like a pretty decent fit. I think I could twist it on even further if I put the camera down. All right, I just had to run back to the shop to unscrew this, and I put one of the washers behind there now. I had a little bit of trouble fine-tuning this thing to get it to fit perfectly. I thought I had it perfect before with the 3 washers in the front, but I think the problem was that it was not actually fully seated. Then when I just fully seated it and put it on here, of course, then it wasn't turning enough. This lip gets thicker as it goes this way, so the more you turn it, the tighter it should get. The problem I was just having was I would only be able to turn it a little bit and it would stop dead. So now, let's see. There we go. That's more like what I want. It should be pretty much a loose fit until it gets around to that locking point there. Is what I would expect. See, it's tight there, and then as soon as it gets past that little spot and it unlocks, it's loose, which is what the original cap was like. All right, so all right, we're gonna call that one a wrap. Take care.